I'm Jen Kano. I live in Katomet. I'm a whistle player, penny whistle player. And I belong to a group of ladies called Ladies' Choice. And of course, Arts Alive came along, and we've done that annually ever since. And we really spend probably 3/4 of our year preparing for that. So when it's all over in June, we spend a few months just being a session group, just relaxing and not worrying about things and trying out new tunes and stuff. And then come December or January, we start thinking in earnest about what our playlist is going to be for the coming Arts Alive, and we start rehearsing and going into performance mode basically. When Arts Alive got canceled this year because of the pandemic, well, first of all, we had to stop meeting. We met right through up until the shutdown in March, and then we went dormant until the middle of July, and then we resumed meeting outdoors. But we hadn't felt like we had nothing to prepare for, so we've been experimenting with a lot of new tunes, and it was really a lot of fun. At the end of November, it got too cold for us to be outside, so we looked around for places to meet indoors, and we finally wound up Katomet Schoolhouse. That was our last meeting on November 28th. And that was a wonderful space to work in. And I'm working with them to see if we can meet in there on a regular basis. But we also decided to suspend our meetings because of the state of the pandemic and the fact that we're all over 60, which puts us in a kind of a high risk group for it. And we just decided that it would be safer and made more sense to just not meet for a while, see how the pandemic goes, and then possibly regroup in January, depending on what the state of the whole thing is at that point. In addition to being an amateur musician, I'm also a semi-professional fine art photographer. I sell my work at art fairs, and I show my work in group shows also at the Falmouth Arts Center and also the Cape Cod Arts Center, and occasionally up in the Plymouth Arts Center. This year just totally changed that. I had done in 2019, I had done 7 shows, which was the most that I had ever done during a show season. I really enjoy the interaction with people. I enjoy seeing people's reactions to my work. So I have as much hanging in my little 10 by 10 tent as I can so that people can come in and look around and just take in a lot. But the fun part for me is talking to people about my creative and photographic process. The abstracts also are really fun to talk to people about, because they'll stand and they'll puzzle over it, and then they'll say to me, "This looks like," fill in the blank, and frequently they'll say something that I never saw myself, but when they point it out to me, I can see exactly what they're talking about. And so what I've sort of discovered over the years of abstract art is like a dual creation. I create it, and it's my art, but when other people look at it and see something else, they're like a co-creator, and they are bringing something of themselves into it, or it sparks them to discover something about themselves when they look at it. So that I really love abstract art for that reason, and being able to watch people's reactions to it is a pure joy, really. When the pandemic came around, I had a lot of extra time on my hands all of a sudden. I said to myself, gee, maybe I have time to work on a photo book. And so I sat down, and I was able to over the course of the spring, put my first photo book together, which was a book of abstract photography, my particular love. Then I got it back from the printer, and I was thrilled to death because it came out so great. And then I was like, okay, well, now I've got this box of books. What am I going to do with them? Because there were no shows to go to because of the pandemic. Everything was shut down. And towards the end of the summer, I just decided I was going to do my own little open house thing in my own yard. I had a steady stream of people come through all day. I had chairs set up on the front lawn so people could be socially distanced and could peruse copies of the book. And I had all my other stuff up as well, all my normal show stuff. It was great, and I sold more books than I had imagined that I might. When I tallied up my intake at the end of the day, I had done extremely well, and I think my best one day showing ever in terms of gross. So I was thrilled, and plus it had been really fun to see people, and people had all been really responsible, wearing their masks and using the hand sanitizer that I had put out, and staying, keeping a safe distance from each other. So it worked out really beautifully. The arts are alive and well in hearts of the people on the Cape. Artists are really anxious to get their work out there to be seen, and people are really wanting to see and purchase. Good things are happening. So I I'm hoping next year is going to be a little more normal. And in the meantime, it's good to know that people are still interested in this kind of thing. And literally, the arts are alive on Cape Cod in the hearts of people, if nothing else.